Hello, and thank you for joining our seminar for Standalone NVRs for 4 to 32 channels. My name is Adrian Garcia. I'm the Technical Services Manager for our company, and I'm based out in Irvine, California. With me today, we also have our co-panelists, Joe McCarthy, Joe Hudak, and Gary Clark, which I'll let them introduce themselves and what they do for our company in just a couple of minutes. First, let's take a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start by giving you an introduction of our company. We'll spend a couple of minutes on ACTI's background for those who are unfamiliar with our brand and company. We'll also take a look at what licensing looks like for the products we'll be talking about today. Then we'll jump into learning more about our standalone NVRs. We'll take a quick look at the overview and features, and then we'll actually do a live demo for 2 generations of our ENR products, which is what we will be talking about today. And finally, we'll jump into a summary on working with ACTI. We'll take a look at how to find our project planner tools in our website, and then we'll go ahead and have a Q&A chat in which we'll address all the questions that have come throughout the presentation. So as you have questions for us, please feel free to post them on the Q&A or chat boxes, and we'll be happy to address them at the end of the session, as I said. So let's begin, and let me go ahead and let my colleagues introduce themselves and give you a little bit of background of our company.
Great, thanks Adrian. This is Joe Hudak, Director of Sales, ACTI. Thank you for everyone for participating today. Adrian, I'm not sure if everybody's seeing it or not, but I'm not seeing your screen advance. It's still on the countdown. There you go. Thank you. Just a short, brief overview of who ACTI is, and then I'll let Gary and Joe introduce themselves. The company's been around for about 17 years. The fantastic thing about working with ACTI is we are focused, centric on IP video, VMS, and solutions for your customers. This is where the company was started. This is what the company does. This is what we're proficient in, and this is where we look to help you win projects and solve problems for customers. Unlike a lot of our competitors that get into power tools or windshield wipers or other divisions, our sole focus in life is video. We do a really good job at it. The other thing is that we help keep the cost down in regards to in the camera and the VMS platform itself. Company is headquartered in Taiwan, which is also good news for all of us, as there's sanctions on China and products from China that are banned in the U.S. to be sold to government-funded projects. ACTI does manufacture out of Taiwan, so you'll find that most of our product is NDAA compliant. Our headquarters in the U.S. Resides in Irvine, California. This is where you'll find Adrian and the rest of our tech support team, as well as our customer service and our inventory for the U.S. The company is a little bit different than most of the other manufacturers. We're actually a smaller company that looks to work hand in hand with our customers to solve problems. So what you'll find is that we're going to focus a lot more on being your partner, saying contact us, we'll work with you, we'll help you with your projects. So at any time you have to raise your hand or you're not sure about something, Joe, Gary, myself, Adrian are all there to work with you. With that said, I'll let Joe and Adrian introduce themselves and then explain a little bit more about the NDAA and our licensing for our VMS. Joe, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Real quickly, want to get started here. The one thing I want to say is what excites me about this specific webinar is I think that we are known, most people know our VMS, know it's an enterprise level VMS and can be deployed on large projects. This comes to show you that we also have a solution for the other end. So for your day-to-day business, for your smaller jobs, your 4 cameras, your 8 cameras, your 16 cameras, we've got solutions for those too. So don't just think of us on your larger projects, but on your day-to-day business, we can be a resource also. Gary?
Yes, one thing I would add is the fact to that is that not only can we start out on the low end, we can also expand to the high end. And as far as the NVRs are concerned, and the thing is that once you learn the software, even on the easiest of our NVRs from a 4-channel and up, The thing is that you can actually understand and actually set up and manage the larger systems as well, whether it's 200 channels or et cetera above. And the thing is that all you're doing is just adding a few more features and benefits, but the software is really the same. Thank you, Adrian.
All right, thank you guys. So on the next slide, we're actually taking a look at what our unified solution looks like. We do have a good ecosystem in which multiple products interact with each other, starting from our cameras, NVRs, central management system, workstation clients, and mobile clients as well, our system health management. So throughout the last few weeks, we've been talking from a little bit of all of the products that we have here outlaid. And today we'll be focusing only on our standalone NVRs. So before we actually jump into details about the NVRs itself, let's talk a little bit about licensing, as we've talked about all of the different products licensing system. With the ENRs, which is the standalone boxes we'll be talking about today, it's a little bit different because all licenses are bundled. No matter if it's ACTI or third-party cameras, everything's included, so you don't require additional licenses for the NVRs we'll be talking about today. Again, that means it's a one-time purchase. There's no annual or recurrent fees, no upgrades or packages that you need to add, or support fees for that matter as well. So once you do a purchase, it's a one-time purchase and you don't really need to worry about licensing anymore. So let's take a look at what options we have when it comes to standalone NVRs. So the easiest way for you to find what options we have available is going to be through our portal in the NVR3 matrix. So you can go to our website, and we'll be going there in just a second. So we have our Linux boxes, which are the ENRs. We have everything from 4 to 32 channels, depending on generation we're working with. So we have generation 2 and generation 3, both active. And we also have a set of standalone NVRs for mobile transportation. And that gets complemented with large-scale NVRs that we've been talking about as well on past webinars that are going to be for our NVR3. So those will be our GNRs and our NRs. So again, today we'll be focusing only on the ENRs, which is our 4 to 32 channel boxes. So if we go to our website, acti.com, you'll find on the NVR matrix, this is the place where you will be able to find if you're working with one of our ENR boxes or our MNR or INR boxes. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and filter only the ENRs. As a point of reference, we do have one more other series of NVRs, which will be our ZNRs. I won't really be focusing a lot on those today. Those are for really budget-oriented projects. So it's very basic features. So I won't really cover a lot on those today, but if you're interested in that, feel free to contact one of my co-panelists here, and they'll be happy to give you more information about those. Again, today I'll be focusing only on the ENRs, and you'll find all the different options we currently have available here. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about what features are actually supported, this is a good comparison table to give you as a reference of our ENRs versus our NVR3 built-in products. So the ENRs come with operating system of Linux versus our GNRs and INRs that come with Windows. So there's certain advantages with using a Linux operating system. The simplicity of making a system that is plug and play, it's something that only with a Linux you're able to achieve. Those come with different set of limit of channels. We have 16 and 32, depending on the model you're going with. We do have a lot of models that have built-in PoE. An easy way for you to find out if the model has built-in PoE or not, if it has a P at the end, that means it has PoE. So as you can see, we do have in most form factors, a number of channels, a version that has built-in PoE. In this case, one of our staple NVRs is this one, the ENR 320p. It has 4 bays. It can go up to 16 channels, and with all the 16 ports included of PoE. So we do have a good variety of options, no matter if it's rack mounted, wall mounted, or desktop, and a number of bays as well. So the other differences between the small boxes is that when it comes to some redundancy features, you actually need to go with some of the bigger standalone NVRs. So if you're looking for RAID, power, or operating system redundancy, then you probably need to go with the GNR or NIR series, which are for bigger projects. Now, if you're looking to have all licenses bundled, then the ENRs, like I said, they all come with licenses. So no matter if you're adding active cameras or third-party, we do support third-party cameras via ONBIF, which is the common protocol in the security industry. Most cameras on the market support this nowadays. You can also add them via RTSP or via our integrated drivers. So all of those are supported. We do support also H265 and 4K on the third generation of our ENRs. Excuse me. And we also have the capability of using our mobile client app, which we actually have a webinar coming up today at 2 p.m. and we will be addressing a little bit more on our mobile client app. It's a single mobile app for all of our products. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that in later today. When it comes to integrations, the ENR G3 also has more capabilities. So you can integrate access control, network inputs and outputs, and point of sale devices, as well as metadata from analytics. And also you'll be able to use some security features such as HTTPS on both the ENRs. Now, if you're looking for some other advanced features such as maps, advanced search, or Active Directory integration, then that's when you need to go with some of the larger scale NVRs. But for everything else, you are good working with the ENRs. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at how to find this information on our project planner, starting from our product selector, then doing a little bit of our bandwidth and storage calculator, and we'll then jump into finding more about our hard drive selector. So our project planner, as I mentioned before, it's a useful set of tools that we have on our website for you to be able to plan out and decide which products work best for you. So I'll go ahead and start by using the standalone selector. So let's go ahead and find the NVR selector here, and we'll filter out the standalone NVRs, and then we'll be able to specify the operating system if we're looking for the Linux devices. So I'm going to go ahead and select Linux, and then we can go ahead and select the number of channels we're looking for. So if we're looking at least something with 16 channels, and then we're looking something that has built-in PoE. So we're going to head and filter this. So it's going to give us these options. And now we can go ahead and do a quick comparison. So that's going to give us more information about the NVR. So we're looking for, if we're looking to get more information about how to set up connections and how everything works, you're able to click on the More tab. And then you can go ahead and filter more resources on this page here. And this is the place where you'll be able to find the quick installation guide. It's going to give you information about how to install everything, how connections work, and how to set up your hard drives. So this is always a good place to start and get a lot of resources from our NVRs. This is the place you'll be able to find the latest firmware as well and administrator manuals. So again, very easy to find this information. Now, if you're trying to get other details such as bandwidth and storage calculations, you'll be able to use one of the other tools we have available here. So you can click on bandwidth and storage calculator, and this is the place you can decide if you want to start by calculating how much storage you need or how many days of recording I need to get. So let's say that we want to decide to record for about 15 days. Then we are able to select how many cameras we need, and let's say that we want to use only 2 megapixel cameras at 15 frames per second with H265, and then we want excellent video quality, and we're going to be recording 24/7. This is going to give us the total amount of storage we need. So in this case, we need about 4 terabytes of storage. So now that we had that information, we can go ahead and find which hard drives we're actually going to be using. So I can go ahead and select hard drive from our approved list of drives that we've tested. So this is always a place we recommend checking, just because not all hard drives have the same performance and durability. So we have definitely filtered down which drives are going to be working the best way for your NVRs. Here you'll find options ranging from 1 terabyte to 14 terabytes for all of our NVRs. As more storage options become available, we do test them and add them to our list here. So this is always a great place for you to check. In this case, if we're looking for a 4 terabyte hard drive, this is probably the 2 options that we want to be using. So we do distribute hard drives as well. If you want to learn more about those, you can click on the information tab, and it's going to give you a part number for the ACTI distribution. So now that we've selected the proper hard drives, we know information about storage and bandwidth, we know that we have built-in PoE already in our NVR, then we're pretty much ready to start working on our project. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at our demos. We'll be demoing both our Generation 2 and Generation 3 today. If you've been around in previous webinars, we've only used our NVR3 on CMS up until now, but today we will be focusing on this too. We do have a mobile client app as well that will be working with the ENRs G2 and G3, so you'll be able to connect to those two. So let's go ahead and take a look at the demos. So we'll start by taking a look at the ENR Generation 2 first. So let me go ahead and bring it up to screen. So this is the web interface. We can connect to the ENRs via Internet Explorer, the browser, or through our mobile client apps. So both options are available. Both ENRs and actually all of our NVRs can be controlled through our central management system as well. If you're looking to scale things up a little bit, then you're able to connect a variety of NVRs into a single CMS. So even if you have ENRs Generation 2, Generation 3, and maybe GNRs or INRs, you can actually mix them up all and combine them into a single interface through our central management system. So once you've logged into the ENR, just like with our NVR3, you'll see 3 different tabs. You'll have Live View, Playback, and Setup. The menus on the local interface, if you connect an HDMI to the NVR itself, it's actually very similar. So there's very little learning curve you need to get this started. You can go ahead and drag your cameras very easily by just click and drag, or you can go ahead and double click on one of the cameras and it's automatically going to add it. At any point, you can go ahead and double click on one of the cameras and it's going to enlarge this, so you'll be able to get more details. Or you can also go ahead and change the view from here. If you go ahead and change to your different layouts on this panel here on the bottom. You'll be able to use digital zoom just like what you do with the NVR3, and you'll get a feature called picture-in-picture, so you'll be able to move around and get more details on anything that you're looking for. So it makes it very intuitive and easy for you to use. Just like with the NVR3, you'll be able to save views as well. So here on the bottom, on the top left, you'll also see different views that you can go ahead and rename and pre-populate. You can select anything from 1 to 4x4 in terms of views. And then you'll also have your event panel and PTC panels here on the left side. So as you can see, the interface is very similar to our NVR3. So the learning curve is really low, and again, we've made it really simple and easy for your users to start playing and operating the system in no time. So even the process of reviewing footage and exporting is also very straightforward. All you need to do to start playing footage is going to be going into the playback window, dragging and dropping your cameras, and now you can start navigating by using the time bar here, or you can go ahead and use the calendar search and specify a date and time, and it's going to get you to that specific time range. Once you found an event that you're actually interested in working with, you can go ahead and right-click, select Mark Export Start. You can go ahead and find the end of it and select the end. And now you'll be able to click on the Export Video button, and you'll have an option to export in either AVI format or RAW file. Now, between these two, there's a couple of differences. If you're doing AVI, this is actually something that is very universal, so you can play it on virtually almost every device. And if you're exporting in RAW, this is actually something you'll be able to play on Windows PCs. So you'll be able to use one of our tools from our website called the Archive Player to play RAW files. There's benefits on using RAW files. One is that you'll be able to have something that is in a proprietary format, so it's more secure. It's not as easy to tamper as something that is on an AVI file. Any kid with an iPad nowadays can edit an AVI file, so that makes it a little bit harder to present to authorities and to be admissible in court. So RAW files are definitely a great option within the ENR exporting options here. Now, at any point, you can go ahead and export it, and it's going to save it on to your preferred path. And now, if I want to make some notes and create bookmarks, I can also have that. So if I want to go ahead and create a bookmark, I can go ahead and put it at any point here on my timeline, and I can create as many as needed. This is a little bit different from the NVR3, where you can actually add customized notes, and here basically you're just adding so you can later on review what happened here. You'll be able to filter down also events. So if you're trying to search any type of event such as motion detection, network disconnections, digital input triggers, you'll be able to select those and also select the time frame that you're looking for, and then it's going to show us different thumbnails here on the search result. So you'll be able to select all of those from here, and you'll be also to filter down the bookmarks that you've created by just clicking on the bookmark panel here on the left. So again, navigation is really simple. If you do see any kind of activity, it's going to be colored down. So you can go ahead and filter motion detection events by clicking on this yellow running man. If you want to include digital input events or video loss or network loss events, you can include those as well here. So again, it's really simple to use and operate. You get all of the basic features. If you're talking about doing maintenance and setup, this is the place where you can do it. You'll be able to do all type of configurations such as firmware upgrade, system configurations, email notifications, which is something that we do have as well. Anything from your network and DHCP, DVNS, and all of your camera configurations are going to be able to add here. We do have a couple of different models that we're adding through the OnBeef protocol just for you to know that those are capable of. And when it comes to scheduling, this is the place where you will be able to select if you want to be recording full-time, on motion only, or what we call speed-up recording, which is if there's no events, you're going to get 1 frame per second, but if you do have some type of event, it's going to jump automatically to your full frame rate. So that could be 15 or 30 frames per second, for example. And that way, no matter what, you'll always have at least 1 frame of evidence, no matter if your motion detection boxes were running properly or not. Now, when it comes to events, you'll be able to go ahead and program all type of event handling capabilities from this page. So if you're looking to get a pop-up alert on motion detection, or a PTC camera to move, or send an email notification, trigger a digital output. So all of those capabilities are here. So anything that is regular motion detection, you'll be able to configure it from here as well. And you'll have your maintenance and user permissions tab as well here. So again, it actually has a very complete set of features. So the ENR Generation 2 is a great choice for you to start working. Now, when it comes to ENR Generation 3, which it has some more advanced features, then we'll take a look at that as well and see what differences we have in terms of interface and options. So I have another NVR here. Let me go ahead and pull it on this screen. This is the ENR 320p. It's the same one I use on the example with 16 built-in PoE channels, and also with a form factor with 4 hard drive bays. So one of the differences you'll see here is that the interface has actually changed a little bit. We've added a good number of features for system management and also make it a little bit more flexible and similar to our NVR3 in the sense of how you can create your customized layouts. So if you've seen our NVR3 webinars, you might recall that we do have some flexibility when it comes to creating your views. You can start by dragging and dropping your cameras very easily, and you can also customize the way you present your cameras. So if you want to customize your view, you can easily go ahead and drag and drop this way your cameras. So it makes it much more flexible for you to start using. You can also drag and drop cameras by selecting them from here and just dragging and dropping. So again, very easy and intuitive interface. One of the differences is that if you're looking to do playback, the menus are a little bit different. You'll find it here on playback, but then it's going to be a very similar procedure for selecting footage and exporting. You can right-click at any point, or you can go ahead and use this button here to start a selection and finish it by clicking on the export video button. From here, you'll be able to select which cameras you want to be exporting. We do support dual recording on this NVR, so if you're trying to record both the first stream and second stream, you can do it from here. You'll be able to select also RAW files or AVI, and within AVI, you'll even have some more advanced options in which you can add some text overlay. If you want to put some custom text, such as webinar example, it's going to add this on the AVI at the bottom of this section here, and you can even customize the size of the font and style that you want to be using. So again, it gives you a little bit more flexibility with that. You'll also have the options to find events based on motion activity or digital input, outputs, and even the option to create your own bookmarks. So let's say that we want to go ahead and create a bookmark here. The difference is that within this generation, now you can start adding notes and remarks. So it gives you a little more flexibility with that. Now, as you start creating views, you'll be able to modify them on live view or playback. And you can easily jump in between live view and playback from here. If you're trying to search for events, on this generation of NVRs, we actually do support a few more events. We can search anything. Let me actually go ahead and pull up a camera first. So let's go ahead and bring this camera, and now let's go to search. And now we can go ahead and filter down per events. Sorry, let me see what's going on here. I think I need to have one of these events here selected. So let me go ahead and click search. And we should be seeing the event search panel here. Well, let me go back to that in just a little bit. But the idea is that all of the cameras do have the capability, the cameras that do have analytics, you do have the capability of programming those analytics events from here as well. So your typical configuration will look something like this: video settings, events, schedule, motion setup, just like with the other NVR. But the cameras that do support analytics will also have another tab that it says event for analytics. So if you're going to something like this, you'll see in configurations that says tampering. Other cameras will have the event handling for line crossing or car or vehicle detection. So depending on the camera model you're using, you'll see different options that you'll be able to configure from here as well. So again, when it comes to event handling, this type of NVR does have a little bit more capabilities. When it comes to system management, you'll be able to find statistics about hard drive usage, network operation as well. You'll be able to get more details on your hard drive and network connections as well from here directly. And if you go to setup, you'll be able to manage your PoE settings. So you'll be able to turn on your PoE ports from here and take a look at what current configurations are. You'll be able to configure push notifications as well to the mobile client app, do network address translation, which is great to manage your cameras directly from the NVR. And you have a few more options when it comes to storage. If you want to use even external storage, you'll be able to use that as well here. So again, there's a good number of options when it comes to system management and event handling on this generation of NVRs. And this is just to give you a quick preview of what the interface looks like and some of the capabilities. So let's go back to our slides and take a look at what is working with ACTI. And like I said before, if you want to find our project planner, you'll be able to go to active.com. And from here, you'll find on the main section, let me bring it to the screen, our main website. So let's go to active.com. And within the main menu here, we'll find the Project Planner tools. This is the quick link, so let's click on this. And this is going to bring all the tools that we were talking about before. You'll find everything from camera selector, mounting accessories, lens selector, all the way to VMS tools, which is what we used before to find our own NVR, bandwidth and storage calculator, hard disk selector. We do have other tools for you to validate the performance of the system you're trying to get. And finally, another important tool is going to be the third-party camera integration validator. This is where you can find which cameras have been integrated and what firmware you need to be using. So again, Project Planner tool is a great place for you to find all of these resources. Now, when it comes to technical support, if you do have questions or you find some challenges configuring your NVR, or you just need to get more information about the product itself, feel free to reach out to us. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and you'll be able to reach us through the phone or via our customer help desk. Now, if you're looking to get more information about upcoming webinars, our latest information of our products and our e-newsletter, feel free to register to acti.com if you haven't done so yet. You'll get access to exclusive content as well, so I'll definitely recommend you checking this portal. And now let's go ahead and jump into our Q&A section. I'll let my colleagues to give some final remarks before we'll address those questions in the chat box.
Great job, Adrian. You always make it look so easy. Appreciate that. Gary, Joe, I'll let you go ahead and speak first, and then I'll jump in with my final thoughts. Gary?
Hey, it's Joe. I just want to thank everyone for joining us. Great job, Adrian. I do see that there were a couple of questions lined up. But Adrian, let me ask you this: if what is the one thing to take away from? If I'm used to working with NVR3 and working with our larger NVRs, what's the one thing that I need to know that either a feature I'm not going to have, or what's the one big difference between the two platforms?
That's an excellent question, Joe. So there are a couple of differences between the NVRs. One of the biggest ones is the licensing. When you buy the smaller NVRs and you're just looking to get basic features for live view or playback, you get the advantage of having all licenses included. So if you're looking for something really basic, live view, playback, exporting capabilities, then I would say the ENRs are an excellent choice. The NVR3 products, GNRs, INRs, are great when actually you're trying to get more advanced features in which you're trying to optimize the way you search for events. You're trying to get more playback capabilities and create customized views with emaps. So all of those are great reasons to choose products with the NVR3. If you're just trying to get basic and everything on under 32 channels, then ENRs are the way to go.
Great point. Thanks, Adrian. Just a couple key notes I want to make about the ENRs. Adrian basically went through the setup and the playback in less than 25 minutes. The truth is as the more you become familiar with the product, you'll find for your technicians and for your customers, it's a really simple platform to use, and that's how it was designed, so that there's not a lot of time spent on labor having to program this thing, and that your end users can use it intuitively to get the information they need from the system. As we move forward with the webinars, and as we constantly say, if you're working on any projects, you need assistance, you're not sure about an ECTI part or how it works, give Gary, Joe, myself, Adrian a call. We're happy to assist with that. That's it for me. I don't know if Gary's having audio problems or not, so Gary, if you want to chime in for a couple of last words, and then we'll turn it over to Adrian for the Q&A.
Yeah, I'd say key on the last thing is that you can find NVRs that are less expensive, but I don't think you'll find NVRs that are as easy to use, and also with the features that we have and the upgrade path that we have today for our integrators. And I think that's key. Thank you very much. Adrian?
You know what? Actually, that's a great point, Gary, and I will say one last thing. The other nice thing about our NVRs is we've been stable with the platform. So as you work with a lot of other VMS partners, you'll see a constant evolution of product and changes. I've been with ACTI now going on 10 years, and the one thing that you'll find is once you learn this, our product stays consistently stable in regards to how we structure them. So it makes it easier for the end user and the technicians, because once they become familiar with the product, we know that it's going to be that way for a while. So thanks again, everybody. Adrian, let's go ahead and address the Q&As.
All right, perfect, guys. Thank you. So the first question we have is if the ENRs, no matter if we're talking about G2 or G3, will they work with other web browsers besides Internet Explorer? That's a great question. There are definitely a good variety of browsers that are popular in the market right now. As of right now, we do not have plans to support other browsers than Internet Explorer. The reason for that is simple, just because Internet Explorer actually comes built in with all Windows boxes. No matter which year you've been using for the last 10 years, they will all have Internet Explorer. We do support other forms for connecting to the ENRs. That will be through the mobile client app, which we do have for iOS and Android. And we also have the capability of adding the ENRs to our central management system. So if you have multiple ENRs, then the CMS is a great way to connect all of them together. And you'll have a workstation and other web browser capabilities as well in an upcoming release of the CMS. Another question we have is when it comes to the mobile client app, do we support it through the same app? I think this is something I addressed before. We do have a single unified app for all of our products. So no matter if you're adding a camera directly, an ENR, or one of our NVR3 products, CMS, or even the CNRs, all of the products can be controlled from a single app, which is found on our marketplace for iOS and Android. And we'll actually be addressing a little bit more about our mobile client app in our session at 2 p.m. There is another question about built-in PoE. What are the specifications for those? So it really depends on the PoE, but basic on the NVR itself, of how much power budget it has. But generally speaking, we do support PoE up to class 3. So if you do require more than class 3, so for example, for some PTC cameras, then you need to use the PoE injector that comes in with those. So all of our PTZ cameras do come with a built-in PoE injector if they're going to be using more than PoE class 3. And I believe those are the questions that we have had on our chat box. Like I said before, if you do have any other details that you need to learn more about, or you have issues or other information needed, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to assist you. That's it for today. I do want to thank you one more time for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone.